Imagine being in a relationship with someone who makes you feel small. Every time you speak up, you are too sensitive. Every time you have a feeling, you are imagining things. Every time you catch them in a lie, you end up being the one who apologizes. Sound familiar? You stay quiet for years because you think if you just love them harder, they will change. If you just explain yourself better, they will finally understand. If you just prove your worth, they will stop hurting you. But they never do. Then something happens after you finally walk away. You stop explaining. You stop defending. You stop reacting. You stop responding to their messages. You go completely silent. And that is when the mask slips. That is when you see something you have never seen before. Panic. Real. Desperate. Shaking panic. Not because they miss you. Not because they love you. But because your silence is the one thing they cannot control. If you are currently dealing with a narcissist, a toxic ex, a manipulative family member, or someone who has made you feel crazy for years, stay with me. By the end of this video, you will understand why your silence is the most powerful weapon you have. Here is the truth most people never understand about narcissists. They do not fear your anger. They do not fear your tears. They do not fear your explanations, your proof, your evidence, or your desperate attempts to be heard. In fact, they feed on all of it. Your anger gives them drama. Your tears give them control. Your explanations give them more chances to twist your words. Your proof gives them something to gaslight you about. Everything you do to try to be heard actually gives them more power over you. But there is one thing that terrifies them more than anything else. One thing that makes them lose sleep, send desperate messages, fake apologies, and call everyone they know to get to you. Your silence. When you go silent, you take away their oxygen. You take away their audience. You take away their supply. And a narcissist without supply is a narcissist who is drowning. So let me explain exactly why your silence is their greatest fear. And more importantly, how to use it without breaking. To understand why silence is so powerful, you first need to understand how a narcissist works. A narcissist does not see you as a person. They see you as a mirror, a source, a battery. They need your reaction the way a fire needs oxygen. Without it, they suffocate. Here is what that means. When you argue with a narcissist, they feel alive. The chaos, the drama, the back and forth gives them energy. They do not care if you are angry or sad or hurt, as long as you are reacting. When you cry in front of a narcissist, they feel powerful. Your pain proves that they matter, that they can affect you, that they have control over you. When you explain yourself to a narcissist, they feel superior. Every sentence you say gives them more ammunition to use against you later. Every vulnerability you share becomes a weapon they will eventually turn on you. You could spend hours writing a carefully crafted message explaining how you feel, what they did, how it hurt you. You think if you just use the right words, they will finally understand. They will reply with one sentence, something like, "You were being dramatic," or "You are literally crazy." And then they will text their friends laughing about how emotional you are. That is when you realize they do not want to understand. They want to win. And you cannot win an argument with someone who does not care about the truth. There comes a moment in every chosen one's journey when everything changes. It happens after you have been no contact for several weeks. No texts, no calls, no social media, no checking their profiles, no asking friends about them. Complete radio silence. And then you get a message from a number you do not recognize. It is them using someone else's phone. The message says something like, "Are you okay? I am worried about you." Read that again. I am worried about you. Not I miss you. Not I am sorry. Not I was wrong. I am worried about you. Do you see what they are doing? They are pretending to care. They are framing themselves as the concerned, caring person. They are making your silence into evidence that something is wrong with you. But here is the thing. You do not respond. You leave them on read. You put your phone down. You go for a walk. And when you come back, there are 4 more messages, then 7, then 12, then a voicemail, then a message from a mutual friend asking why you are ignoring them. That is when you understand. Your silence is driving them insane, not because they love you, not because they miss you, but because they cannot control you anymore. And for a narcissist, losing control is the same as dying. They will say anything to get you to respond. They will fake an emergency. They will pretend to be sick. They will threaten to hurt themselves. They will send other people to pressure you. They will show up at your door. Do not fall for it. Every single one of those tactics has one goal: to get you to break your silence. Because as long as you are silent, you are free. And that is the one thing they cannot tolerate. Let me explain the psychology behind this. Narcissists have a condition called narcissistic injury. It is an intense emotional pain that happens when their ego is threatened, and nothing threatens their ego more than being ignored. Here is why. A narcissist builds their entire identity how others see them. They need admiration, attention, and validation to feel alive. When you give them attention, even negative attention, you are feeding their ego. But when you go silent, you are not giving them anything. No anger to feed on, no tears to control, no arguments to win, no explanations to twist, nothing. And that nothing is unbearable for them. Think of it like a drug addict. A narcissist is addicted to your reaction. Your silence is withdrawal, and withdrawal is painful, desperate, and ugly. They will do anything to get their next hit. They will fake an apology. They will pretend to change. They will say all the words you have been waiting to hear. But here is the truth you need to remember. They are not changing. They are just desperate. The moment you respond, the cycle starts again. They will go back to the same behavior. Maybe not immediately. Maybe they will be nice for a week or two. But eventually, the mask slips. It always slips. The only way to win is to stay silent. Going silent is not easy. It is one of the hardest things you will ever do. Your brain will try to convince you to reach out. You will remember the good times. You will wonder if you were the problem. You will feel guilty. You will feel lonely. You will feel like giving in. Here is what you need to do instead. First, block them everywhere. Not to be mean, but to protect yourself. Every time you see their name, their face, their message, it opens the wound again. Blocking is not revenge. It is a bandage. Second, have a plan for when the urge hits. Write down a list of 5 things you can do instead of contacting them. Go for a walk. Call a friend. Watch a video. Take a shower. Write in a journal. Keep the list on your phone. Third, remind yourself why you left. Write down the worst moments. The lies, the manipulations, the gaslighting, the times you cried yourself to sleep. Read that list every time you feel weak. Fourth, understand that their desperation is not love. Love does not require you to abandon yourself. Love does not require you to accept being treated badly. What they are offering is not love. It is a trap. Fifth, give yourself time. The first 30 days are the hardest. After 60 days, it gets easier. After 90 days, you will wonder why you waited so long. Your silence is not punishment for them. It is freedom for you. Here is what happens when you stay silent long enough. First, the desperate messages stop, not because they have given up, but because they have found someone else to feed on. Let them go. That is not your problem anymore. Second, the forklifts. You start to see clearly. You realize how much energy it was spending on someone who never deserved it. You feel lighter. Third, you remember who you were before they broke you down. The hobbies, the friends, the dreams, the parts of yourself you buried to keep the peace. They come back. Fourth, you start to trust yourself again. Your intuition was never broken. You were just being gaslit into ignoring it. Now you listen to it. Fifth, you realize that your silence was never about them. It was about you choosing yourself for the first time. That is the real reason narcissists fear your silence. Not because they lose you, but because you find yourself. And a chosen one who has found themselves is unstoppable. So let me ask you something. Are you still in contact with someone who makes you feel small? Are you still explaining, defending, crying, and hoping they will change? Or have you already gone silent and felt the panic? If this video resonated with you, comment one word below: silent. That is your declaration. That is your commitment to yourself. Also, if this helped you, please like this video. It tells YouTube that this message needs to reach more people who are trapped in the cycle and need permission to walk away. You are not crazy. You are not the problem. You are a chosen one. And your silence is your superpower. Thank you for watching. Stay silent, stay strong, and I will see you in the next video.